So I'm gonna do this video really quick. This is a message to the FBI actually. I can't believe this, but they caught themselves trying to investigate the occult. And I honestly think it's a lot of teachers that are getting scared because they don't know what they got themselves into. You notice like a lot of teachers was up here back in like the early right after the shift happened and the Mayan calendar switched over around 2013. Remember, it was like all these teachers out here teaching about all this sovereignty and metaphysics and how much money you can make. Then the FBI decided to come in and test them, and they call it an investigation. However, I used to roll with the GDs. I know the FBI and Larry Hoover's doctrine in and out, so it doesn't scare me at all. Like that's why before I got into this, I decided to take the street route, as you guys know, instead of the religious route. And I think that's where a lot of the teachers stumbled at because they chose to delve into religion. And religion is poison. It's the worst drug you could ever take because it makes you very delusional. So I'm just going to say this, kind of like a response to some of the stuff that I heard yesterday. I was like, my name is Rashim Young. I was born with that name. My father gave me that name, Rashim Maurice Young. I was born with that name. My father gave me that name. My father was a part of a very special organization for the research of which he doesn't even speak on. And that's how I got that name. But I'm bringing this up because of the fact that when certain feds decided to put their nose in and investigate metaphysics, it ended up leading them to myself and my family. Whereas they don't know, they don't have the money to even finance a so-called investigation on metaphysics because they don't have enough money to investigate metaphysics. Metaphysics is more lucrative than your little agency. So I told them and I suggested to them, if you're really interested in what's going on with me, because they claim that this isn't my name and I don't own it based on some investigation or whatever, but this is just public record, not to scare anyone, because I'm not doing anything illegal. It's just that they can't believe that a person just strictly in metaphysics, their family that's been in this for years, manifested all of this money. They like, yeah, right. You got to be doing something illegal. They don't understand how it was set up. And I'm not here to really go into any of that because, of course, you guys know I got a soul group and I teach on that more privately. And that hasn't really been successful because, of course, this is serious information. You don't get into this information and just get out of it. I was born in this information myself, and when I watch people convert into this type of information, it's no converting out. You know how long it takes to really study metaphysics? You got to study this for about like 30 years to even just study it. Then you might take another 30 years to start teaching it. I come from a long line of teachers on both sides of my family, actually, of which I'm not trying to go into, but my thing is this about this record. That is my name. That was the name. When you are in this order, you're given a free name, free national name, and you're giving, you guys know me as Ram Hotep, which is the name that I use as a master of ceremony and doing my rituals. The first name that I gave you, this is the straw man where we accept all of our finance through that I totally myself and my siblings and my family own this particular name, and that's the name that I was born with, period. And then you get a secret name that moves you into who you really are when you were initiated into this order, of which I'm not here to really even talk about right now. But I think when they started looking into some of the information about how I got to where I'm at, they like, well, we need to know more about your secret name and X, Y, and Z, and that's how you got to where you're at. I'm like, you're not going to know anything about that if you haven't. See, in this order, everything, this is why they say they charge you. The police charge you with stuff, right? Just like you get charged at a billing center for paying your bill. They charge your card, right? You get charged or taxed for stuff to pay for stuff. That's all it is. So when they try to charge you with something, they're selling you something. You don't have to buy it, but when you sign and use your Social Security, they force you into adhesive contracts and unilateral contracts that force you into being a part of this type of stuff because that's how they're an investigation organization, of course. So there's no compromising to them. So they're selling it to you, but of course it's no choice and supposedly as to whether or not you're going to buy it because a lot of times they make it to where it's like you're either going to do this or sit in here for something that you didn't do till we could figure it out. But that's where they're at because they're really, like, honestly don't have enough information. They don't know what they're into, and they didn't take the time to research it. And they're just getting caught up with the hoopla and money. See, people see figures and units and just go crazy, but you don't know what it takes to get to certain positions in life and to get certain amounts of money for real. You just see these people like these entertainers, and they sign off on these contracts, and you think they got that money. They haven't manifested that money. That's a loan. That's that money that they sign off on. That's what they want to have when they quit. That's their potential. So like if they sign off on $100 million deal, that means they're trying to make $100 million at some point, have that in the bank, and then they're done. But signing off on ain't nothing but just like getting a house. It's the same thing. You got to do certain stuff to keep financing it, paying payments on it. And they can't believe there's certain people out here that's gotten out of their deals, even these celebrities. They're like, well, how did so and so, Chris Brown, and these people, how did they get out of their music deals? And they don't have any contracts like Jay Z and Damon Dash and Cameron and a lot of those East Coast rappers. How did they do that? How did they free themselves from the label? Because they understood, obviously, the chain of command in their name and going into understanding that that's no money. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but you don't know what you're worth once you take back your straw man and begin to sophisticatedly secure it. And it takes time. This isn't something that you do in 30 years. I mean, excuse me, in 3 years. Like, seriously, this is something that takes time. And the only reason why I got a small leap, like I said, of like a head start was because my family was into this for a long time. But this is just for people that's the rumors and talking about it's more than one Rashim, more than one Ron Hotep. It's only one. It's only one. If you're not initiated, you're not gonna know about the chain of, my siblings and how what's going on or whatever. But for you and for people that are watching this video, it's only one of me. And they're like, what do you mean for you? Like, so is it like, are you some form of a clone or something? No, it's just a part of the order that I was born into. There's certain secrets that this is the only way I can help you with this information that I'm just not going to talk about unless a certain amount of money is given. And I'm not saying I'm rich, poor, or nothing, but I'm not going to disrespect the information. I know what it's worth and what you can do with it because I've showed people several different examples and have like seen myself certain examples of like people doing big things, man, which is strictly true knowledge about metaphysics. The true knowledge, though, there's a lot of fakes out there, man. You can't just go buy a book from this place. Y'all don't even buy books no more. A lot of people, y'all just watch the stuff on the internet, which is even worse. Because a lot of times you could buy a book and get more information, but even in those books, you got to be careful. You're not just going to buy a $30 book and think you got it all. I mean, you got to think like Ivan Van Sertima, which is one of the lineage. He's part of my lineage too. Shout out to Ivan Van Sertima and his family. His books cost $300 and $400. It's no joke what he's talking about. $300 and $400. I know, like in the Theosophical Society, they have books that are $1,000. Real good information. I mean, I've just looked into some of it. Couldn't afford a lot of it myself. You like, why would somebody charge it? Knowledge is priceless, man. You don't know what's out here till you start to research for real. You have money to research too. It's one thing to say, well, I'm gonna take this time. You gotta be privileged and blessed to have money and stuff like that too to research. But there's only one. I'm definitely not a faker. I've been tried, tested on many levels. When you're donating to me, I don't know if that's what this is about. People feel like they don't know what they're donating to. That is my straw man name that I secured. And anybody that's born here, your straw man ties you into a state. The name you were given, the Bible says is better than gold. What does that mean? That means that your name is a code to some form of an estate. I don't care what name you got. I don't care what it is. If it's being uttered and spoken, it's a code to. I don't care what language it's in, what tongue it's in. That's just what you got. That's your homework. You figure, well, my mom didn't know anything. She just named me the soul. That doesn't mean that name still doesn't try to tie you into something. It's upon you to take your initiation and figure it out. Because you don't know what your family really knows. They may not want to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like people are up under oaths and stuff like that. So it's like you can't really expect to get a lot of information about metaphysics, like just like over the table and like over the counter medicine. This is definitely a prescription based information, and it's very costly because I mean, just about everything on this planet and all of our problems can be solved and are already solved in a lot of these books when you go to these higher levels of libraries, like in these other dimensions. And that's what it really is. Like you'll start to find out, like we got a lot of this stuff already solved. It's just a matter of discovery, is what it is. So you guys stay vigilant. Thank you for listening and watching. Namaste. Peace. Hotep.